Hey guys, welcome to the OneClass channel. My name's Sydney and I'm currently a third-year engineering student at university. Today we'll be going over some commonly asked math questions at both the high school and university level. If you need some additional homework help or tutoring, please check out the links in the description below, and let's get started. Okay, so as you can see here, our first question is asking, how do you graph and label the vertex and axis of symmetry of y equals to 1/2 x squared plus 4x plus 10. I'll just write that out here. 4 equals 1/2 x squared plus 4x plus 10. Okay, so in order to find the vertex and axis of symmetry, I'll just label what vertex and axis of symmetry are. So first of all, the vertex is the local max or minima of the curve. So say we have a curve like this. This point at the bottom here would be the local minima, and the point at the top as the local maxima. Those are both the vertex of the curve. And then axis of symmetry. This represents it kind of like a line along. So this axis would be along the x value of the vertex. So once again, I'll just draw this really quickly. If we had a curve like this, and this is the vertex at the top, this line down the middle here, along the x value, I guess I should say not along, but vertical to the x value, perpendicular to the x-axis, that is the axis of symmetry. So as you can see, the curve will reflect the same image on both sides of the axis. Okay, so in order to find this information from this equation, what we're going to do is change the equation from standard form to vertex form. Okay, and how we're going to do that, I'm just going to write down an example of what the standard form is, and the vertex form is first. So the standard form looks like this, and the vertex form looks like this, h squared plus k. Okay, and how you would read this typically is, I like to read it like this. So the h here represents the x value of the vertex, and this y, or this k value, sorry, is representing the y value of the vertex. And I'm just drawing the arrows there as a reminder cue to know which one is the x value of the vertex and which one is the y value. That's how I remember, at least. And the vertex has the point hk. Okay, so that's what the h and the k tell you, and the vertex form of the equation. So what we're going to do in order to change our original equation into the vertex form, so we're going to complete the square. All right, so let's write down the given equation again. Plus 4x plus 10. And like I said, we're going to complete the square. Okay, So first I'm going to start by taking out the 1/2 from the first two terms. So removing 1/2 from 4 is the same thing as 4 divided by 1/2, or 1/2, or divided by is the same as multiplying by the reciprocal, so that's the same as saying 4 times 2, and that would give you 8x. So that's when you factor out the 1/2 from this bracket that we're creating, and then just leave the 10 term outside of the bracket. So now that we have this term in the bracket, what we're going to do is complete the square. So completing the square involves, let me just rewrite the beginning here, x squared plus 8x, involves adding this value here, 8 divided by 2 squared. So that happens, so you can also imagine this as b over a divided by 2 squared is this value that you're adding, okay? Remember we divided a, so this is a, this is b, and this is c. We divided b, which is 4, divided by a, which is 1/2. We did that originally to get 8. So that's why it's just 8 divided by 2 squared. Leave the 10 on the outside, and because we're adding 8 divided by 2 squared, how about I'll write it like this, we also have to subtract it, just so that we have a net 0 addition to this equation. We have to make sure that we don't, because this is an equation, remember, with two sides. So whatever you add to one side, you have to add to the other. So this subtracting 8 divided by 2 squared is equivalent to adding it to both sides, right? Add it to both sides, and you can move it over and subtract it from this side. All right, so plus 10, and what we're going to do is remove it from the bracket here, and when we're removing it from the bracket, as I drew the arrow showing the motion where we're putting it, we have to make sure to account for, oops, sorry, my pen's not working, account for this 1/2 out in front. So as we remove it, right, we have to, instead of divide by 1/2 when we took the 1/2 out of the bracket, we have to multiply by 1/2. Okay, let's write this. So 1/2 times x squared plus 8x plus, leaving this one inside the bracket, and removing the second term that we've added here, and putting that outside the bracket. So we have plus 10 minus 8 divided by 2 squared times, now remember I said times 1/2 because we're taking it out of the bracket. Okay, now we can simplify a little bit. 1/2 x squared plus 8. So 8 divided by 2 is 4, squared is 16, right? Plus 10, and we get the same thing. So this is 16 divided by, times 1/2. So basically you have this now. So minus 16 times 1/2, so half of 16 is 8, right? Okay, so now that we're here, obviously we can add these two together. And what we have to do here, there's a little trick that I use to think of how to turn this into, so basically, oops, basically what we want. This bracket here is a perfect square factor. So what I do to sort of think of what to put here is it's usually, or it is always, I guess, this middle term, so the b term, divided by 2. So 8 divided by 2, or simply just 4, right? So in order to confirm that x plus 4 all squared is equal to this term here, you can always multiply it out. And once you start to find the pattern of how a perfect square works, then you can probably remember that pretty easily. Okay, so plus 10 minus 8 is plus 2. And then here we go. Now we have the equation in vector form. So remember, I'll just rewrite what the vector form looks like. We have y equals 2ax minus h squared plus k. So we know that looks the same, right? So we can find that h is equal to minus 4, since this in the vector form equation it's minus h. So in order to get plus, we need a minus 4 term, and we see that k is equal to 2. And remember that the vertex has the points of hk, and so our vertex has the points minus 4, 2. Okay? There is one more way that you can do it without completing the square. I'm just going to move over here. So our second method shows that you can get h simply by using this formula, minus b divided by 2a. So if you look at our equation here, b is 4 and a is 1/2. So minus 4, 2 times 1/2. So that's minus 4 since these 2's cancel out. And k is usually found by subbing h into the original function. So remember our function from before, right here, we have 1/2 x squared. I'll just write it out. X squared plus 4x plus 10. So if we're subbing h for x, and we found out that h is minus 4, we get this, so 1/2 minus 4 squared plus 4 times minus 4 plus 10. So minus 4 squared is 16. Oops. Minus 16 again here, plus 10, or sorry, I think I might have said minus 16, not sure, but remember squared just gets rid of the negative sign. And then, so that's 8, so that's 16 divided by 2, the first term. 8 minus 16 plus 10, and that will give you a final answer of 2. So, all in all, using the second method, we also get that the vertex has the points minus 4, 2. So I just wanted to show you those two different methods so that it's clear. You can use either one. And so now we have our vertex. So I'm just going to do a rough sketch of the graph. Right, so we have the y-axis and the x-axis. Rough, I don't know if that's enough actually. Let me take a look. I think I have a drawing of this somewhere. Okay, let's look at this one. Oh, I don't think I need to do anything specific with this one. We just have, so we have -4. Sorry, I was thinking of a different question. Here we go. So -4, 2, 3, 4. The vertex would be around here. If this is 2, we draw that. -1, oops, 1, -2, -3, -4. So we know that our vertex is at -4, 2. And if we have our curve that looks like this, roughly, then we know that our axis of symmetry is down here, okay? Perpendicular to the x-axis. And so, as I said before, the axis of symmetry is found along the x value of the vertex. We know the x value of the vertex is -4. So the axis of symmetry is found along x is equal to -4. Okay? That should be that for that question. And it looks good. Solution. Because as we saw here, they also get -4, 2 using the second method that we used. So using the equation for h and k. All right, we can move on to the next question.